This is Don Powell from Slade and listening to Six Towns Radio.
Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is Six Towns Radio.
It is Six Towns Radio, and as guests go, they don't get much bigger than today's. Please welcome on the line, Don Powell from Slade. How you doing, mate?
I'm pretty good, thanks. You okay?
Yeah, good. So much to talk about today. Where do we start? Should we start with the book?
Yeah, that'd be a good thing. Yeah, it's out on the 14th officially.
It's called Don Powell, My Life in Slade.
That's the one.
How come it took this long to make?
Well, actually, it's funny, really, because, I mean, yeah, you get people throughout the years keep on asking you to sort of, or keep saying you should write a book, what have you, know, that kind of thing. And it's actually my wife, Hannah, who really pushed me into doing it, because we were reading my diaries one day and like basically killing ourselves laughing, you know, and then she said, you have to put this into a book, you have to write this. And then we have a really good friend, writer, Danish writer, Lisa Falkenberg, and I've done quite a bit of work with her in the past, and so we approached her and she was up for it straight away.
Is it a no-holds-barred account of your life in Slade?
I'm afraid it is, because I'll tell you what, that was at Lisa's instigation, that was, because, we started on doing the book. I suppose in the first sort of few months we spent we spent with Lisa talking about the different things, and then after a while she sat me down and said, listen, Don, open up. Come on, open up to me. I know you're not quite opening up to me. I can tell, you know. So I said, okay, let's go for it. And I think it's going to make for a better read, really.
I can imagine that the late 60s and the 70s were the wildest times being in Slade. Am I right?
Yes. Well, it's all in there, mate. The thing is, it's so. I felt a lot better after, you know, because when she said, you know, open up, and I felt a lot better afterwards.
I can't wait to get a copy, really.
Yeah, I have to sort that out for you because hopefully I've been doing some book signings. I opened up in my hometown, Wolverhampton, this past week, which was quite good, and we're trying to arrange some book signings when we're actually on the tour, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can do one when I get to Stoke on the 7th.
Yeah, we might be able to sort that out for you. We do book signs with Six Towns Radio. We could do that. That'd be good.
Yeah. So
in the book, there's got to be stuff that no one else knows about.
No, not at all. But like I said, because from my diaries, you know, and it's all come out of that, you know, sort of the... just because we were touring non-stop, as you know, then, and so you know, it's going to be interesting reading because we were touring all over the world at the time, so it's going to be interesting reading.
Yeah, and of course, you've got to have talked about the car crash where you were rendered unconscious. Was that difficult to relay? Not really, because I mean, it's not me being cold about that, you know, sort of Terry. It's just that cause I don't remember the accident, mate. Yeah. You know, but that's the strange thing about it. And so, really, I can only sort of talk about sort of the problems I had afterwards, you know, with the amnesia and the loss of smell and taste and all the physical injuries that I had, you know. So, I mean, the thing is, it's sort of, it's been so long ago now, and I'm not making like sort of a light-hearted thing about the accident. I mean, it's quite a serious affair. But yeah, and I felt pretty good about doing it. I read somewhere that your long-term memory hasn't suffered at all. It's your short-term memory. Yeah, it's strange, you know. I saw this brain specialist in New York. So when we went back on an American tour not long after the accident, and I was sort of, he was great, he was, because, I mean, he was explaining things to me. I said, you wouldn't believe, he said, we are no closer now to finding, you know, things out about the brain. He said, because everyone is different, and it's like the most complex computer. And I said about the short term, when does the short term become the long term? And he said, I can't answer you. He said, we actually cannot answer that. He said, because everyone's so different. So it's just a strange thing. And Slade came under the umbrella of glam rock in the 70s. Did you like that term, glam rock? Well, I suppose in a way. I mean, we couldn't really get away from that. I mean, to be totally honest with you, I mean, but that's what we were. So, I mean, although we were a rock band as such, it's just like our appearance was part of the glam movement.
You know, although we didn't, we were, like I just said, we were an actual rock band.
And they're quite flamboyant back in the day with the dress sense. I've read, again, something you said, that you look like people in the bar in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's it. That's my, I thought that's a classic sort of description of it, you know, sort of thing. I mean, Dave Hill would never change in front of us. He would go into the toilet in the dressing room, and then we'd have to sort of like wait till he came out and see what he was dressed in. He's sort of a bit embarrassed. I mean, he was a bit over the top a lot of it, as you've seen any photographs, I don't know, mate. But yeah, it was quite over the top.
Yeah, the top hats were amazing, weren't they, with the mirrors on?
Oh, that was phenomenal. That was, you know, it's funny because you saying that just changes the thing. I went to see Kiss recently in concert, and what they do like an acoustic set beforehand. And Paul Stanley was talking about, because they used to come and see us when we used to play in New York, and he was talking about Nod's top hat with the mirrors on, and he said everything went dark, and there was these like a spotlight shining onto the mirrors, and it was like beams of light going all around the arena. It was actually Madison Square Gardens. And what he did, he went straight home and put the mirror tiles on his guitar.
It must be great because you inspired so many bands. Oasis, big fans, Sex Pistols, Nirvana. It's so good.
I mean, it's a real compliment, really. I mean, like sort of Gene Simmons always said, without Slade, there wouldn't have been a Kiss.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a nice compliment there.
Without a doubt, and the songs have stood the test of time. But whose idea was it for the bad spelling? Because it's genius. So many people have copied it since.
I'll tell you what, we've got in so much trouble with that, you know. Because how that came about is like when we recorded "Cause I Love You," because, like I said, we were trying to be a hip, you know, sort of rock band and all that kind of thing. And we said we can't have a record out because it's called "Cause I Love You," you know, or because I love you, or whatever it was. And so what we did, I think it was Chaz who came up with the idea about, because of our dialect and they used to have the phonetic spelling. That's what we decided to do, to use it on the record. I thought at least it doesn't seem so mamby-pamby, and so we just used the phonetic spelling we were using from around the Black Country area. And but the trouble is, though, we got in that particular time, in the early 70s, we got into so many problems with the educational authorities, because they were saying we were misleading the kids. And but the thing is, because they were like doing the all the misspelling, all that kind of thing. But now that they actually use that system now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were starting, but we got a lot of trouble in the first times it started. Yeah.
It's called sensational spelling, and you were pioneers in this. Of course, advertisers use it now. Prince sort of did it with the numbers thing.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, how sort of it becomes just like part of the norm these days.
Got so many famous fans, but I know James Hunt was a massive Slade fan.
Funny enough, you said, I went to see the film last week.
Yeah, Rush.
Yeah, they got their feature Mama We're All Crazy Now in it.
Yeah.
No, I went to see it. I was in London. I had a few hours to kill one after. I thought, I've got to go and see it. I want to hear the song in it. But he was, because he came when we were on one English tour, and we played when the Rainbow was still open in London, and he came along to that show.
Again, so many people were big Slade fans and still are. Bet you were surprised a lot of the time by some of the people who meet you in the bar after, or be at the stage door.
Well, like I said, I think the biggest compliment really comes from sort of Kiss, you know, and a lot of people like Mama's Boys, who sort of quite right, of course, who took Common Illinois to #1 in America, you know, and of course Oasis have recorded us as well. Yeah. You know, I think it's a real compliment for Nod and Jim, who wrote the songs.
And let's talk about the tour. You're coming to Stoke in November with Slade and Sweet. You've done this before. You've played in Stoke quite a lot of times, haven't you, really? It's only up the road from where you were from.
Yeah, I mean, in the 60s, we used to play all around Stoke a lot. It was great, because it only took us about half an hour from Wolverhampton up the M6, you know, sort of straight off, you know, and we played everywhere. I mean, so all the small clubs and pubs around, sort of, there's the Wagon and Horses in Mere. I don't know if it's still there. There was the old sort of Golden Torch in Stoke as well. I mean, they're probably not there now, but I mean, we played a lot of gigs, you know, sort of in the old King's Hall, Handling, all that kind of thing. Yeah. Everywhere we played, it was good memories for us.
Yeah, and you're at the Victoria Hall again. You were there a couple of years ago. It's a great venue, isn't it?
Fantastic. And I think it should be used a lot more on the big tours, you know. Yeah. It's a great gig.
Yeah, I think it gets missed out.
It's a good sound in there, and you know, it's a great gig.
Yeah, it gets missed out because it's just not big enough for some tours, they say.
That is the trouble these days, especially with some of these bands, like the bands that come from abroad. They expect, you know, like the big arenas, or they want to play the big arenas, you know, sort of thing. But no, I think it's a great gig.
Yeah, and on the night, of course, there's so many songs to do between you and Sweet.
Yeah, that is the trouble, you know. Both we were talking with Andy and ourselves, trying to. Well, we have to obviously we can't do all of them because of the time slot that we have, you know. But yeah, we try and squeeze as many as we can. And it's the same with Andy with his band, with Sweet. You know, they have to try and do the same thing. You know, I mean, they had the same thing. The amount of hit records they had as well. I mean, you can't put them all in.
Yeah, do you do some of the 80s stuff like Run, Run Away and My Oh My?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Run, Run Away, My Oh My, things like that, you know, because, I mean, it's funny enough that they were the two records that helped us crack America.
They were more of a rock sound to them, and I think that's why
but especially Run, Run Away, and because MTV had just started, and because it was on all the time, because the castle where we actually did the promotion video for that, that's where we lived.
Let's talk Merry Christmas, everybody. You do this tour in November and December, so I'm imagining this is the song you end the show on.
Well, we have to. We can't do it. We can't put it anywhere else. You know, I mean, as you feel, that's the same again. I mean, when we recorded that in '73, we were on a world tour at the time, and we were in New York. I just finished off an American tour before we shot off to Australia and Japan and all places like that. And we had Nottingham Jim had this song, and Chester, we've got to get in the studio now to record it because there's no time to get back to England and do it. And there it was. We were in New York, 100 degrees, heat wave, and then we were singing this Christmas song. Yes, a few strange looks from the American technicians, believe me.
How did you get in the mood?
Just the usual thing, just to get a few beers in, you know, sort of make a little party atmosphere. We went around that. We've got a few strange looks, mind you, in July, trying to find some party hats or little poppers and things to make it have we've got a few people from the technician, people from the other studios coming in to sort of try and get a bit of a party going.
And was John Lennon there? Is that a true story?
Yes, well, what it was, because it was a studio we recorded as well, and it's a great compliment from Knock, because he came in, as he was listening, he says, I like that singer, he sounds like me. He said, good singer, that sounds like me. And then he just walks out, we never see him again.
But did you know at the time when you recorded it was going to be so big? It's the biggest Christmas song ever.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, we had a good feeling about it, but we didn't expect it to still be around. Yeah. I mean, it sort of basically sells every year. I mean, sort of, the thing is, when we're over in England, in the UK, doing our UK tour, you can hear it in supermarkets. When I go to pay for some groceries, we've got the supermarkets, garages, everywhere you go, he's playing in the lift. You know, he's standing in the lift with everybody, and then he's playing on the tannoy system in the lift, you know.
Do you ever get fed up of it?
No, never.
Good.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, to me, like Nod's lyrics, just sort of just hit it right on the nail. You know, sort of everything about Christmas is in there with Nod's lyrics. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, singing about Santa getting kissed by Mummy and getting drunk.
That's it. You know, got the granny up and dancing, the usual thing. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It came out at a time of hardship and unemployment and strike, so it's a bit of a breath of fresh air for some people. Had a hard year, and then Christmas is here.
I think that you're saying it right, because I'll tell you what, well, because we were in the States at a time, and Merry Christmas was number one in the UK, and like you said, it wasn't a very good time with all the strikes and the bad things going on in the UK, and we were just sitting in our hotel, I think it was in the West Coast, in Los Angeles, and they came on the news, and they were going on about how depressed everything is in the UK and all that kind of thing. He said the only thing that's happening that's brings a bit of light and happiness in the UK is this record, and they played Merry Christmas on the national news in the US.
Wow, I suppose the 70s was the time for Christmas songs. There was a few in the 80s as well, and there's none today, really, is there?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I mean, like you said, I mean, 73 when we released ours, I mean, everybody put one out. It was Elton John, Roy Wood, Greg Lake. I mean, they all had to go. You know, I think it's just like an automatic thing to do that people like to do. You know, but I mean, I think it's great because I mean that they all get played. Everybody sells of these things, and I think it's a nice uplifting thing for people.
I just think more big bands and artists should do them now.
I think so, because I mean people do give them a listen. They do get played on radio, and they do make you feel good.
Yeah, so the early to mid 70s were massive for Christmas songs. Bit of resurgence in the 80s. Paul McCartney had a hit. Jonah Louie was a massive hit, wasn't it? Stop the Cavalry.
Yeah. He's a mate, Jonah, because I mean, he played me. He had I did some work. He has a studio at home, and I did some work for him in the studio. And he said, "I've got this little song. What do you think of it?" This was like the same again, near enough about springtime. I said, "You've got to record that, Jonah. That sounds really good." And well, as we know, we all did it.
Legend tells us it wasn't going to be a Christmas song. It was going to come out in the spring.
Yeah, I know. It's always because you have to, because again in those days you get the tape to the factory, so they got time to get it all printed up.
The Top of the Pops performances were legendary, and because you came back in the 80s, you got to do Merry Christmas Everybody again on there.
Yeah, actually we were in the chart for 2 songs that 1983, because we had My Oh My was at number 2, and then Merry Christmas sort of went in the top 20 as well, and it was so we were there doing 2 slots.
And you're living in Denmark.
And that thing is, oh no, not you lot again. Oh please, no, not you lot. It's good fun though.
It was, yeah. And you're living in Denmark now. What's Christmas like in Denmark?
But it's very much the same as in England, except they celebrate Christmas more on Christmas Eve.
Ah.
Yeah, Christmas Eve is more the big party and like the big dinner sort of thing. I mean, it is, I do celebrate Christmas Day, but really Christmas Eve is the big day.
Well, it's been amazing talking to you today, Don.
Well, thanks for calling, mate. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we look forward to the book and look forward to seeing you in Stoke.
Well, come and if you're a bit of the show, come and show your face, and we'll have a beer or something.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic, mate. I will do that. Thank you very much.
Please do that, won't you?
Yeah, I will, definitely.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for calling, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.